Welcome everyone to our first meeting for December 2023. We want to start our meeting by going to prayer. Chief Davis, lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. God, we thank you for this meeting. We thank you for the opportunity to come before your throne of grace. God, we thank you for this city council. We thank you for the mayor and administration. We even thank you for our youth council. We just pray that you allow that this be a great experience for them and be a blessing to them and also to their peers. Father, bless everything that's done and said in this meeting that will bring you glory and edification to this city. We thank you for the city of Biloxi and all the citizens and visitors that come to this place. We ask that you to have your way in this place. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
The flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need an amendment I need a motion to amend the agenda. Second. We have a motion by Mr. Lawrence, a second by Mr. Glavin. Any discussion? All in favor?
No, I'm opposed.
Mr. Gines, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, 6-1, Mr. Tisdale in opposition.
To the policy agenda, to the consent agenda, we're adding 5AA, resolution amending the fire department budget in the amount of $7,301.70 to purchase 7 computers. And to the routine agenda, we're adding a docket of claims in the amount of $88,270.17.
I move the agenda as amended. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lawrence, a second by Mr. Glavin. Any discussion?
Yes, just briefly, I'm opposed just because these are not emergency items added to the agenda. Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? 6-1, Mr. Tisdale in opposition. We'll now move to our presentation agenda.
Yeah, thank you,
Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do want to welcome everyone to it's already December. The last 2 or 3 meetings, this is, I think, 2 more meetings after tonight. But I'm really excited to announce that we've reestablished from the 80s, I think during the Biloxi administration was the last time we had a mayor's youth council. So Susan Hunt and everyone, as far as the adult advisory committee, has been tirelessly putting things together. I'm going to ask Susan in a minute. She'll take over for me, with things she needs to do. But I do express to them we want them to be to ignite their enthusiasm about our city government and the history and the culture of Biloxi. And it's an exciting place, and we want you to kind of start this stuff again. That it'll go on and on and on and on. Next year they're all juniors, I think. Some of our high schools here, and then next year they could be acting as advisors to the juniors that be coming in. So I told them I would give them this opportunity to introduce themselves, but you sort them out.
My name is Paul Martosh.
Stand up.
Oh.
There you go. Don't be bashful now, right?
My name is Paul Martosh. I go to Biloxi High.
Very good. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Madison Lockwood, and I go to Biloxi High.
Hi, my name is Kamori Thomas, and I go to D'Iberville High.
My name is Cole Martin. I go to Biloxi High.
Hello, my name is Jean Paul Martin, and I go to St. Patrick. Hey, my name is Carter McClendon. I go to St. Patrick too.
My name is Reese Ketchot, and I also go to St. Patrick's.
Well, very good. We're proud to have you as part of our team here, and we encourage you to ask questions when things don't add up. But we want you to be our advocates as you hear things about what happens in this council room and what happens through our when you see things on TV. We want you to have an understanding of what and why. So I welcome your enthusiasm and look forward to it. Right now, Ms. Hunt. I think she's got some special things to do. Susan?
All right, before we go any further, I would like for all of you that are here, that are on the adult advisory board for our students, please stand. Go ahead, Miller, stand up. Thank you. These are folks that are on the adult advisory board. All right. Thank you very much. And y'all know, what do I bring?
Bread.
All right, I have assistants. They will bring you your bread. All right, start, go. Go ahead.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, thank you,
Thank
Gary.
you.
My
Oh,
favorite. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for being here.
I believe you have another presentation for the mayor, because he doesn't like bread. He likes banana bread and chocolate chip cookies. All right, thank y'all, and we're excited about this. They are very exciting young people, and this is not their first, some of it's their first city council meeting, all right? That's none of my children. You notice they do not have their cell phones. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Susan, and we're excited for what we're going to do together over the next year or so.
Yes, sir, you have me a whole year.
Thank you. I do ask the council to spread the expenses of the Biloxi travel credit card to the minutes. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll now move, we don't have any departmental reports, do we?
So.
We'll now move to our council reports. Start Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah, question, Mayor.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. We always start with 30 seconds. The phone system, we seem to be down a lot. I know we changed over, so what is our problem?
I don't know that it's down a
You're
lot.
supposed to be the computer with,
Well, I don't,
so.
respectfully, I don't know that it's down a lot. I've never had a problem with it. I don't know who.
It was down last week, it was down a week before. It's always a day or two. I was just wondering.
It might be operator error. I don't know.
So we're just trying to find out who it is, What's the problem?
No, I don't see it, but we'll look into it.
All right. And the other thing, Saturday, I know we had a lot of rain, but they had beachfront property in front of the Flower Llama. Everybody had the inner tubes that's floating around on the streets and everything. I guess the drains were stopped up because they drained pretty much the next day. But that's pretty amazing. They had them things floating, and they all drinking their beer, floating around in the parking lot. Downtown Biloxi, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I had a couple questions, phone calls today about the harbor. Y'all sent out letters about the new leases, and half of them are confused. That's just a regular lease, like it's for a year.
Yeah, we just changed the term that used to be month to month. For these years, we just have changed it to a year lease.
Annual, yeah.
A lot of them pay by the year in advance.
Right.
So we just that was the main change. There might have been another change based on the new the difference in the rates, but for the most part, it was just
Well,
the
the
term.
rates, we didn't change anything. A
Right.
couple of them said they got the lease stated commercial lease. So we consider everything in the harbor as commercial,
We've got 4 or 5 different types of lease, depending on what type of boat they are. But I guess any specific questions, if they want to send it to me or Mike, we'll look into it.
they were just calling to see if everything was the same. And said, as far as I knew, we didn't really change anything.
No.
As far as the slip fees and everything else, it was all the same. So they were kind of confused about the commercial, thought that might be a different category they was in. Said, no, you tell the charter boat, you still whatever you are, nothing changes, All right, thank you.
Is that all?
All the way rule, right?
All right.
No.
Mr. Guines.
Yeah, just welcome to the student council, and just want to acknowledge my pastor and former councilman Eric Dickey in the back.
That's the Mayor's Youth Council, let me correct you. The Mayor's Youth Council.
That's it. I'm done.
Ms. Newman. Mr. Deming.
Is Sherry Bell or Jamie here today? Anyone from the Department of Parks and Recs? Mr. Mayor, or is there any update on, they were supposed to get bids for some of the equipment out there? Have they presented any of that to you yet?
I'm not aware of it. Call out on the street right now.
Christina, you not here?
The lighting.
The lighting for the tennis courts is out to bid. The one for the sports complex is not out to bid yet.
Okay. Ms. Labata, you may just be able to head nod and answer. Have we looked at any options for those manhole covers going down Pops Ferry Road?
I've looked at options, we have some ideas, we're waiting on getting some money to
There's a lot of different options we can do, so we'll work on
That was, some of the things were brought out about literally where the line is in the middle of a lane. And that was the ability to kind of do some things to relocate that so it's not right in the middle of where the traffic goes if we have to tear it up. I think that was the thrust of our situation.
Instead of making it cheap, we have some options that are just a little more expensive, maybe permanent repair.
Okay, great.
Relocate the manhole out of the lane itself.
Well, that'll be nice to see. Either way, short term, long term, I know everybody's shocks and struts are suffering. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Tisdale?
Yes, two things. I know during the budgeting process, we discussed briefly exercise equipment in Pennzoil Park.
We did?
Look at me. The man I could be. I'm just waiting on that exercise equipment as soon as we can get that done. But I was assured that we'd find the money for that to do that this year. And we talked about that. I think it was this past August. The second thing is Christmas is on the way, and Santa's going to need some lights, Christmas lights on poles in Ward 5 to find all those good little boys and girls and councilmen in Ward 5. So anything you can do to make that happen, I'd appreciate that.
Made a note of it.
So noted. Thank you, sir. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Glavin?
Thank you, Mr. President. Couple things. I'd also like to congratulate the Mayor's Youth Council. Possibly from time to time when we have, whether collectively or individually, I'd be interested in giving y'all a topic to chew on from time to time and get your perspective. So look forward to interacting with your new Youth Council, Mayor. The other thing today, I attended Coffee with Veterans that was hosted by the Chamber at the Visitor Center. More of an open house and real kind of laid back, but we had several representatives there and several vets there, and then other folks were there to show all the services that is available. I think this is kind of taking the place of the old Centurion Club, and it was a real good event. They did a real nice job. And with that, that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Deming?
I failed to mention that, and I wanted to apologize to this institution, not only the council, but also the mayor and the city of Biloxi, as well as everyone in the staff. My attire is not appropriate for this, and it's highly disrespectful, in which the body that we sit, and especially with the Mayor's Youth Council here, I don't want you to think that this is appropriate. It's not. And I am embarrassed and ashamed, but I had to be here.
What is it? I'm trying to figure that out. What are you wearing?
It's a hoodie. That's all that needs to be said. And so again, I apologize to this council, this board, the mayor, and all of you.
We should get City of Biloxi hoodies made
You
for
don't
all
look
of
that
us.
bad, Robin.
All right. I just have a couple of things. Welcome to the Mayor's Youth Council. And a reminder that the Christmas parade is Saturday, Wool Market Christmas Parade. I have 4 of you down confirmed as coming. Have Corvettes lined up for you, so if anyone else wants to come, let me know. Lineup starts at 1 o'clock, parade starts at 2. That's all I have. That concludes council's report. We'll now move to our public agenda, citizens' comments.
Let me just say this about it. They really are a fun council, so don't get the wrong idea. So this is a really good, functional, interactive group. So I think they're going to adjourn. I think the council is going to adjourn to the 3rd floor. Is that right? To follow up, Cecilia? Okay.
The Youth Council.
The Youth Council, Mayor's Youth Council, right. Pardon me, my mistake.
I'm with you.
Okay. That's all I have to say. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, we'll now move to public agenda, citizens' comments. Each will have a total allotted time of 45 minutes for citizens to speak. Each person will be allowed 3 minutes to speak. When you come forward, please state your name and address and sign in on the paper at the table. We'll start on my left side of the room and your right side of the room. My left side, your right side. Is there anyone that would like to speak? Yes, sir. Please come forward and state your name, address, and sign in.
I'm Bob Hudson, 119 Jefferson Davis Avenue. And I have some handouts for the groups. I'm here to speak in opposition to the Planning Commission's proposed cap of 125 conditional use permits for Biloxi. Just did some research on this. I think it's very important to look at it more scientifically as we embark upon improving something like this. In Biloxi, there are 452 short-term rentals last time I looked, 57 of them being conditional use. The proposal 125, that would bring us up to another 68, more than double what we got now, in several different zones, not just RM30, RM20, but several others. And Ocean Springs has a total limit of 75, Gulfport 55. When you do the math, and you use an average of 2.5 people per household, come up with, say, 49,000 people, 19,600 households. That's 1 in every 108 in Biloxi. So the ratio is 1 in 108 households in Biloxi are short-term rentals. All these other people. If you look at Gulfport, it's 1 in every 1,300, a 12-to-1 difference. And we're going to double what we have now for conditional use permits. That seems awfully high. In Ocean Springs, we have a 5.3-to-1 ratio, more short-term rentals per household than Ocean Springs. It's not even close. But yet we want to continue to expand these and hold these hearings and have more conditional use permitting for short-term rentals. We're reaching a saturation point. When you look at the stats across the country, this is very high comparatively. I think more science needs to be done by the Planning Commission here on this subject before we start approving these kind of numbers. Looks like Gulfport and Ocean Springs have planning commissions that are really listening, and the city council is really listening to the folks that live there. I think, pulling out a number, 125, and throwing it out like that's pretty nilly-willy right out of the gate. Numbers, frankly, irresponsible. It's not good governance. You're supposed to do some research and get some science behind proposing something like that to the council and saying, hey, let's just approve it. We're at a saturation point, as I said before, and there are consequences to that. Affordable housing goes down. I looked at all the stats. More saturated you are with short-term rentals, less affordable housing there is. If the market takes a downturn, you see all these implosions. We have a lot of short-term rentals. If the market drops, we're going to have a lot of empty houses. A lot of issues. So there are consequences to approving all of this. Is that my time limit?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else on my left side, your right side? Anyone else on my left side and your right side? Okay, we'll now move to the right side of the room. Anyone on my right side, your left side? Anyone on my right side? Please state your name and sign in.
My name is George Berger IV, and I live at 175 Miramar Avenue. I'm here to oppose the current set limit that y'all are proposing for the 125 short-term rentals. Like Mr. Hudson previously stated, we have 61 currently. That is more than double than what we are proposing. I think that's just kind of absurd in my own opinion. And then, even if you decline a conditional use, and so let's say somebody decides to go and appeal it, you would not have as good of a ground to decline it because, well, look here, here's a cap. We're below this cap. Why should we decline? Why did they decline it? And then you accept it, and it just continues and continues no matter what this council says, even if there's a good reason. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on my right side? your left side, anyone in the back of the room? Anyone else in the room at all that would like to speak? All right, if not, citizens' comments are closed. We'll now move to our policy agenda. Our first three ordinances are first readings. Ordinance A, please.
Ordinance to amend the Biloxi Land Development Ordinance pertaining to the addition of limits for conditional use short-term rental approval.
Have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right. That's a first reading that will be discussed next week. Ordinance B.
Ordinance to grant the establishment of a planned development commercial master plan overlay district for a three-phase commercial development to be known as Thomaston Medical Park for property at 12290 North Oak Lawn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, that's also a first reading. That'll be discussed next week as well. Ordinance C.
Ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances pertaining to alcoholic beverages, consumption and storage on unlicensed premises.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All right, it's also a first reading. That'll be discussed next week as well. Resolution D, please.
Resolution granting conditional use approval for a short-term rental located at 276 Magnolia Street.
I'll move it.
Want me to second it?
Do we have a second? Okay, a motion by Mr. Guines, second by Ms. Noonan. Discussion?
Yes, I've talked with Mr. Creel, and I've also talked with the chief about it. They did a remarkable job. I went over there and looked at it. Saw the fencing. I saw the paint on the house. This is an area that really, really needs upgrading. And of course, Mr. Creel and Chief plans on working with me and developing that area. Mr. Creel?
Well, this is a piece of property that's zoned RM30. It's surrounded on the south, the east, and the west by RM30 property, and just to the north of it is NB zone property, and then you have RB at Division Street. So it's right off Division Street. It's a couple of lots down from a garage and a couple of lots down behind Our Mother of Sorrows Church. So it's appropriate for what they're requesting.
Yeah, and the Planning Commission voted it unanimous,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Any other discussion?
I have a question. Mr. Creel, are there any other, or Mr. Guines, are there any other short-term rentals on that block or adjacent blocks?
No, sir, not on
that block.
Okay, but and this is RM 20 or 30, correct?
30, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Jerry, is all the homes around there single-family homes?
There are two houses that are single-family houses just north of this. They're both seem to be under renovation.
Yes.
They may even be owned by the same owner, I don't know. But there's obviously some improvement going on, and these people did a great job restoring this house. It looks great.
And we have vacant houses there, so I'd rather have.
This guy, he's gonna do all three of them?
Yeah, well,
So it's the same owner?
I want him to kind of move on down and start purchasing that stuff because, we have vacant lots there and vacant houses. So we want that area to thrive in some kind of way.
All vacant lots everywhere. We'd like to have them all built up pretty. I mean, that's fine,
Any other discussion?
That's it.
All right, I'll call for the question. All in favor? 7-0. We'll now move to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Lawrence, a second by Mr. Guines. We'll start with you, Mr. Lawrence.
It's on C. I'd ask council to table this. This is a reappointment of August Parker for 1 week, because we meet next week.
Okay.
So
You want to
we'd
make
like
that motion? Do we need to motion that now? Yeah,
Right.
amend it.
So we table it for 1 week.
Okay, second.
Just that one thing.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? All right. Item C on consent is tabled. Any other discussion, Mr. Lawrence?
Yeah, on N, the adoption of the fiscal year capital project budget. Is that all
Councilman,
that
this is just the true-up that we do at the end of a fiscal year.
And?
we can't true up on the day of the fiscal year. It takes a while for things to settle out, and then we report it. You want to say anything other than that?
Microphone.
Yeah.
So
it's just a true up.
all right.
So we have just like a balance sheet, we have a number, revenue numbers as of the end of the last fiscal year.
All right, so then next year we'll start with a brand new one, different setup, we'll roll over.
Yeah.
On S, we have these, 3 trailers. Where's this actually listed at? You have 3 trailers in a shed.
Yes.
That's S.
Oh.
S, like in Sam.
Lorraine Road.
Well, this was,
Microphone.
This was in Ward 7, right?
Yes, this is that property next to Coville Grocery that we cleaned up, and we removed a number of dilapidated mobile homes from there. So all this is just affirming the action. The property's already been cleaned up, and we're adjudicating the charges, so.
You've been dealing with that for a couple of years now, haven't we?
More than a couple.
Wow.
Probably
Cleaned up.
5 years.
So they taking the trails apart, or they just moving them off the property?
They're gone. It's cleaned up.
They demolished them and put them in a dumpster.
What we're doing now is adding the cost back to the tax rolls. That's what you're voting on.
So, all right. And then, a B, we did that last year. Felix, what are we doing? The same thing again?
Yes.
To $10,000, and we doing that for what?
Well, it was supposed to be in the, budget. I got the, letter. Like I said, we still have, things to do in the park, such as replacing sheds, things like that. It would probably cost us twice that. They're also working with Back Bay Mission, and they're working with, different
Pretty
groups.
much the same thing that we're
Yes,
doing last year.
yes, same thing, yes.
And on A, the grant, the block grant, do we have any money left over that we carried over to this year? Did we spend all the money last year?
Which letter, Councilman?
A.
Oh, A as an apple.
A.
CDBG block grant for FEMA.
Which is it?
You said the Pacific is a Zeta.
It's going backwards.
CDBG for A.
Hey, the first one in the line, 1. You want to call it 1?
Okay. This FEMA match program for Hurricane Zeta is a new project that the state is pushing out and the feds are pushing out. It gives us a chance to apply to get our share, our 5% share back. Now, there's really not a lot of money in that because it has to be a 5% share on repairs that we did in low mod income housing and facilities. Where there is real money is if they extend that to the debris removal, which is, you remember, was a big number. So we're getting in the pool with them on this probably small number in hopes that they extend it to these other categories.
Okay, is this 80,
Then
20?
5% of $2 million come back to us if they go to debris removal.
Okay, I said, this is 80, 20, is it 5% of 2 million?
This was a 90.
Is it 100,000?
So you remember in Hurricane Zeta,
Yeah, I do.
we had, a whole series of projects. Some of it was administrative, and we got to do reimbursement from FEMA. Some of it was debris removal, which was a really big number. And then we had got, and then some of it was individual projects like MGM Park and so forth. So this is a FEMA coming back and basically saying, we got a little extra money. How about you got any low mod income projects that you did, and we'll give you your 5% back.
All right, that's good. We take our shot then. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it will not be big numbers unless they add the debris removal.
Okay. That's it for me.
Mr. Gines?
None.
Ms. Newman? Mr. Deming?
The only thing I have is B. It's a resolution authorizing expenditures to the Knights of Peter Claver from the non-departmental budget, but this was not in the non-departmental budget when we passed the budget, right?
Right.
Correct.
That's right.
And I know you brought that up, but I think Felix talked about, I don't know who the Knights of Peter Claver are, so this isn't a thing against them or for them, but it's a,
Continuing
It's a-
education kind of thing, though, that's what the purpose was, yeah.
and that's fine, but we require all non-departmentals to have their applications in, and we go through and scrutinize everybody during budget time. And people now can't come and say, hey, let us get some money out of the non-departmental budget. We budgeted for that, and we didn't budget for this. Regardless of who the Knights of Peter Claver are, I have to vote against it, just like Paul Tisdale votes against these add-ons because they aren't emergencies. They weren't proper to be added on in this short time. I don't feel like this is proper. If we require everyone to submit an application to be put on the non-departmental budget, then we should require everyone to submit an application to be put on the to draw money from the non-departmental budget. So I'm going to vote against that at the end. I'll just let that be noted.
All right, is that all you have?
That's all I have.
Mr. Tisdale?
Yes, a few things on item U, Christie. This deals with the Tanglewood infrastructure project, and basically this is a 270-day project, I think.
Yes, sir.
And really, this is only for the water lines, correct?
Correct.
That's all that's being done. This would complete basically the Tanglewood
To
subdivision.
complete the asbestos water lines that are in that area that we've been trying to get out of the ground.
Good enough. Thank you. And I'd just like to make a couple of comments related to that. Thank you, Christie. One is I noted that the contractor starts laborers at $14 an hour. Make a note of that. Attaboy. And I would also note the Harrison County Tax Collector's Office. She was a speaker at a businessmen's club, and all her employees start at $15 an hour. Just saying that. On item X, Peter, this deals with a potential PFAS claim, if you would, just for the benefit of those viewers and our youth council members. In 25 words or less, I can't even, it's like a 9-syllable word, but we don't have to say it. It's kind of tough. And being an Ole Miss graduate, you may not be able to pronounce it properly.
I'm going to tell you first. It's polyfluoroalkyl. So,
attaboy.
and
Thank you.
it's a national class action that all public water systems are being asked to either join it or to opt out. And our decision was to opt out and to retain this law firm to represent the city regarding any claims that may come out of that.
All right, thank you.
And expenses will be funded by the law firm.
That's more than 25 words.
Thank you. And the last thing is item G. I'd just like to make a comment on that. This is a civic rec premium. And I noticed that the renewal procedure includes, I'd never seen this term before, and quote unquote, an annual uplift of 5% starting in year 2. So I just trying to continue my trend of commenting on the rising costs that we face as a city. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That concludes my comments.
I have nothing.
And I have nothing. So I need to, we'll call for the question, then ask for any exceptions. All in favor of the consent agenda? 7-0. Any exceptions other than Robert on item B?
H.
H. Okay, B for Robert. He's a no on that. H for George. He's against H. And then we tabled C until next meeting. All right, we'll now move to code enforcement hearings. Mr. Krill, this is much shorter than last week.
Yes. Item A, Leo Barnes Estate, 2777 Mission Lane. Mr. Barnes' son was here before the meeting started, and he said that the grass was scheduled to be cut last weekend, but because of the weather, they couldn't get it. So I told him I would ask for 30 days.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. All in favor? All right, 30 days.
Okay. Item B, Ty Mydone, 356 Oak Street. We've also talked with him, and I would ask for 30 days.
Make that motion.
I'll second that. All in favor? Okay, item C.
Item C, Margaret W. and Wilburn L. Maddox, 158 Beachview Avenue. We would ask for 60 days on this. That's a reasonable, it's going to take a little more time to get this done, so I would ask for 60
I move
days.
for 60 days.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Item D, Same Van and Big Knock N Tran, 191st Street. That case has been resolved.
Okay. Need a motion on the routine agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All right, beat you to it.
Yeah,
Close code enforcement.
I'm proud of you today, George.
All had to jump in there, you see that?
All right,
He got that coat on, he got the
we
coat.
have a motion and a second. Mr. Tisdale, do you have any questions for Mr. Rhodey?
I can't wait to hear Mr. Lawrence's questions.
Mr. Lawrence?
Walt. You're on call again, Walt. We better have some money in the bank this week.
Merry Christmas, council. Merry Christmas season. Hanukkah season. We spoke last week about receiving the $884,000 from MEMA, and we received that on Friday, December 1st. I emailed MEMA this morning asking when the next round of funding would be in the system. It's not in there yet. It's going through their reviews, but it should be another $975,000. We have our next conference call this Thursday to discuss it.
Has there been anything else before the end of the year? That'd be the last two, these.
The 997 was a change order.
We've got the $1 million and a little over $1 million in change orders. We're going to be asking for that funding back, or we should receive most of that, if not all of it back. Will we receive it before the end of this year? It's going to be tight, but we're definitely going to push them this Thursday.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, Paul?
Any other discussion? All in favor? 7-0. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Tisdale, a second by Mr. Lawrence. All in favor? All right.
Good job, Nathan.
All right.